The history of the relationship between Shangdi and the ancestors has been embodied in the altar of heaven complex, recited in the emperor's yearly confession during the border sacrifices, and recorded in the words of the ancient Chinese poets and prophets. It's also encoded in the construction of the characters of an ancient language. But there's much more to this story than just the Creator and His creation. The ancestors have left many more clues and insights into what took place shortly after Shangdi made man. In the 2,400-year-old Chinese classical text known as Classic of Mountains and Seas, there is a statement which may provide insight into what happened after the creation of Adam and Eve.
There was a sacred tree, and a tree of immortality. Eating the fruit from the sacred tree would make people wise like God.
This ancient Chinese statement has striking resemblance to the account found in the Hebrew texts.
And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayst freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die.
And speaking of this tree of life, the Hebrew writings record God stating that it was a tree that would bring immortality, exactly as the Chinese ancestors believed.
Lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever.
After creating Adam and Eve, God, or Shangdi as the ancestors refer to him, he is said to have given them both an instruction, or a law, regarding the eating of two certain trees. Once again, the ancient Chinese seem to have shared this belief, not just in the classical texts, but also within the construction and formation of a number of ancient characters. The character Gi, which means to forbid, is another character that's made up of imagery common to the Hebrew writings. It is formed by the character Lin, which is two trees, and a second character, Shi, which means to show or to reveal. This character is located between or below these two trees. Are the two trees clues that the ancestors left, encoded in their ancient language? Are these two trees the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life? Why did the ancestors decide to construct a pictogram, which means to forbid, with imagery of an instruction relating to two trees? Perhaps the ancestors remembered that the first prohibition was an instruction that Shangdi gave concerning two trees. Some might think that this is just a coincidence, that this character has the same elements of the Hebrew account of the story of the garden. But the ancestors have left many more clues. Another character which might also contain a clue is Shu, which means to restrain or to control. Today, in Western civilizations, the most common pictogram for restraint is the image No, a universally recognized red circle with a line diagonally through it. It represents no access. And yet, for the ancient Chinese, their mind seemed to be drawn to the idea of a mouth cow superimposed over a tree. This imagery would further seem to confirm the Hebrew account of God telling Adam to restrain himself from eating of this tree. The ancestors collaborate with the Hebrew text that after Shangdi, or God, created Adam and his wife, he gave them a command regarding two trees. One was forbidden, and one was for immortality. The next clues that the ancestors left behind show how the story changes. The radical of the tree is used numerous times in the construction of Chinese characters, but the character Mo reveals a startling insight. This character literally means the tempter. This character is formed by placing the character for the devil, Wei, under the cover of two trees. Did the ancient Chinese leave the identity of the great tempter in an embedded character for all humanity to see? Could it be that they understood that the devilish ghost who under the cover of two trees in the garden tempted the first humans? Is this the oldest record of the great tempter, which the Christian New Testament calls the dragon?
So, the great dragon was cast out, the serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Perhaps this story can appear even clearer when the character for devil, Gui, is examined a little closer. Gui is composed of three pictograms. Garden is the first, the second is man, and the third is a private secret. Could it be that the ancient Chinese were suggesting that the devil is the one speaking in secret to man in the garden? Could this be the ancestors revealing the very way in which the dragon entered the human story? If this is the story and the message encoded in these characters, then it is identical to the Hebrew account regarding the origin of the temptation. Taking the form of a serpent, the Hebrew record identifies the tempter entering the garden home of the first humans for the purpose of leading them away from the great God of heaven.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
With such an engaging question, the first human couple replied to the unexpected visitor by trying to correct his misunderstanding regarding the command about the forbidden tree.
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
And so the stage was set for the great tempter to speak. In the Hebrew writings, this tempter is recorded as saying,
And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Is it a coincidence that the ancient Chinese classics and the imagery of some of the oldest characters all point to a story of two trees, a garden, a man, a command not to eat, and a devil working as a tempter? Is it a coincidence that the same picture is seen in the opening passages of the Hebrew Scriptures? Is the ancestors Shangdi the Hebrews' Elohim? Join me next time as we uncover what this tempter did and how it affected the relationship between the ancestors and Shangdi as we follow the ancestors' own records.